Well, good evening, everyone. I had hoped to get on here a little bit earlier, but I've been over here cooking in the background. So I was cooking a layered pumpkin cheesecake. And I don't really even like cheesecake, but pumpkin cheesecake I can totally do. And so I was just getting the crust ready. The crust is a pecan crust. I'm going to share the recipe with you, and I'm actually going to do a cooking demo on it soon. But tonight is not what that's about. So I'm waiting for some folks to jump on because I don't want to get ahead of you. I know it's 8:30, and I do like to start on time, but I also know it takes people time to find me. All right. So, hey, Charlotte, thank you for joining me. Let me see who else comments it with stars will appear here. So if you send if you send a comment with stars, I'll get to see it here. But tonight we're going to do a little bit of a review, not much, but then we're also going to I'm going to remind you about what we finished up with last night. So let me take this phone off of this tripod just a minute, and I'm going to walk over here. And remember last night, I'm going to flip the camera around, we talked about the 3 fatal F's for females over 55, all right? And it's frailty, falls, fractures, which leads to more frailty, falls, and fractures. And then, you know, another F that we could add, I think I could add that here, is, I'm going to write it. Anybody want to tell me what it might be? What they think the other F is? What's another one of the F's that you, as a woman over 55, experience? I hear this all the time. I'm so tired. So what would that word be? Okay, I'm so tired. Anybody want to jump on here and say? Okay, it is fatigue. Fatigue. So let me write it up here. T-I-G-U-E. Yes, fatigue. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit tonight. And we talked about it last night. But yes, so we don't want to have those, do we? All right, so I'm going to flip this camera back around. Looks like we got about 30 people on here now. So I think I'll go ahead and get started. Last night we talked about insulin resistance, and so I've just spent the last really 2 hours, almost 3 hours on the phone helping clients that are wanting to know more about my program, more the specific details about it, kind of understand and get clear on a strategy. You know, hope is not a strategy. Hope is good. You got to have hope, but it's not a strategy. Yeah, fatigue. You got it, Dolores. Yeah, it's very common. I'll have to say I don't suffer from fatigue. I feel so good. I have so much energy every day. I got up, I went to work today. I worked from 8 till 5 o'clock, and took an hour for lunch, and during that lunch hour I got on a Zoom call with someone else. So I'm not saying that to brag or impress you, but to impress upon you that you can have that too, but it's what you fuel your body with. And that's what you're going to learn in my 90-day program, and even over the next 2 nights we're going to talk about that. So tonight and then Thursday night, because tomorrow night I have Bible study, but Thursday night I'll be back. But you can watch the replay of what we did last night right here on my channel, Dr. Nancy Stanley. So I want to talk about what works and why it works, all right? And, you know, there's just a plethora. I mean, if you go today, even both the clients that I talked with on the phone said, you know, there's so much out there. And I said, well, how did you find me? They said, well, you just popped up on my feed and it just resonated with me, what you're saying. I'm like, well, probably because I'm not a 25-year-old skinny girl, okay? I'm a 69-year-old, you know, not skinny, but not fat. You know, I'm just medium size. I do work hard at keeping my weight in check, but more now than ever, I work on my strength. Yes, I eat healthy. I put healthy food in my body, but I'm more focused on getting strong and staying strong. And here's why. These 3 fatal F's: fatigue, frailty, falls, and fractures. And, you know, fracture, I just said today, I had a patient with frozen shoulder syndrome, and I'm just like, that is postmenopausal issues. It's very common postmenopause. And so Thursday night, I'm going to be talking about Alzheimer's and menopause. So let me write it up here so I won't forget. I'm going to put it right here. So that's what's going to be on Thursday, and menopause. And anything else that you think of that you want me to talk about. Now, I don't have very long because this is just a short training, but I want to share that with you because it's what we don't know that hurts us. It's what we don't know that hurts us. So tonight, when I was on the call with one of those ladies, she said, I didn't know that. And I'm like, well, now you know. So now you have to grow. That's just kind of how it goes, right? Once we learn, then we have to move forward and take steps and take action, all right? No more excuses. No more excuses. We have to change our story. And my slogan for my business, my son came up with this. He said, Mom, change your story, change your body, change your life. That's how it goes. If you change your story, which is what you're telling yourself, and a lot of times what you're telling yourself is based on information that's old, that doesn't work, and it's been proven not to work. So you have to tell yourself the right thing to get the right outcome, and that's what I want to do for you. So, but you got to have a strategy, and you got to have a coach that understands what you're going through and what you've been through, and maybe has experienced herself like me. I've experienced that weight gain that you just couldn't lose, but I broke the code, I figured out what to do, and I want to help you do it. All right, so you also need a community of support, people that can support you on your worst days and on your best days, that can celebrate with you. So that's so important. And here's one more thing, and there's a lot of things, but you have to have a strong why. And what is that? Why are you doing this? Why would you want to change your lifestyle? Why would you want to stop eating things that are poisoning your body? Why would you want to do that when you enjoy them so much, or you think you enjoy them so much? Well, there's a lot of reasons. And for me, it's at 69, at 79, at 89. I want to be healthy. I mean, I see these people that are suffering. They're shuffling in and out of the grocery store. Today, I had to sit for about 5 minutes while a lady got out of her car, walked around the front of the car, walked in the grocery store, and my heart was just breaking. And I'm like, if she had just had a coach just 5 years ago, today she would probably be driving herself. So those are just some of the reasons. I love when I get with my grandchildren. We can bike ride, I can jump on the trampoline, I can run with them, I can play with them, I can lift them up in the air, I can do all these things because of how I take care of myself, okay? Just like my car. My car runs really good because I put good gas in it. I would never put dollar gas in my car. They're too expensive, and it would tear up, and that would be a costly expense. Well, that's what's happening to your body. You are putting unhealthy food in it, which is poison. It's not really fuel. Food was created to be fuel. So that's what we learned. All right, so I want to tell you about one of my clients, Kathy. She was 59 when I met her, or maybe 58. Anyway, we met down by the pool, and I'd love for you to hear her story. In fact, I think I'll put her story in the comments. But I had a keto cookbook with me, and she said, do you know anything about keto? I've been thinking about keto. And my husband looked at her, he's like, you don't even know who you're talking to. Anyway, Kathy ended up joining my challenge that next month, and she lost, I think, 42 pounds in 90 days. But more than that, here's the important part of her story. She literally was not able to work. She was on a lot of medications for all kinds of things, rheumatoid arthritis, honestly, depression. I can't even think of all the things right now, but there was a lot of them. I want to say 12 medications. I may not be exactly right about that. It's been a while since I've listened to her testimony, but honestly, it was burned in my mind for so long because of, and still is. I can just see her face sharing it. I met her in Jacksonville just to hear her story and get it on record. But she literally could not walk very far. She certainly couldn't walk down the beach, but by the end of the challenge, she was walking down the beach. She couldn't walk through the airport. She had to be pushed in a wheelchair through the airport, and she now can walk through the airport on her own, pull in her own luggage. It's just been a transformation, and thankfully so, because her mother's health has failed, and now she's taking care of her. So she wouldn't have been able to do that had she not gone through the challenge. And since then, she's done several challenges, and she is just a dynamic warrior for health. She actually can answer all the questions as good as me just because she's been doing it so long. But anyway, let me just tell you, I'm Dr. Nancy Stanley. I'm a physical therapist. I have a doctorate from Boston University. And about 9 years ago, I decided I wanted to help women and men get healthy. I had been doing, I had a TV show actually where I did healthy cooking, but I just didn't think it was getting to them. So I started this, and since then I've helped probably over 2,000 people. I haven't kept up with it, but year after year after year, I would do challenge after challenge, and people would join, they would lose weight, they would come back to the second challenge, third challenge, and maybe they would, I think Kathy has actually done every challenge since she started 3 years ago. And it's because they love the community, they love the information, and they know that I'm constantly researching what works and funneling it to my clients, okay? So here's what happened with Kathy. She got new activities, new clothes, new plans, a new job. She lost weight. She became vibrant, confident, and she's just not the same. She's a different person. But not all clients have the same results, but most, if not everyone, gets some results. So I just want you to know that you can do it, and a lot depends on how much you stick with it. Okay, so I have spent years, like I said, I've been doing this for years, but even before that, researching weight loss, because I've seen it as being such a nemesis to people, especially women in menopause and postmenopausal. It's like all of a sudden things just start settling around the middle, and I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute. But in that research, I have helped over 2,000 women overcome these obstacles of not being able to lose weight, and accountability is what I hear most. People saying, even today, I got an email from a client. She said, I just can't seem to exercise. I want to exercise. I say I'm going to do it, and then I get to the end of the day and I've done nothing. Well, that's what accountability is about. That's what having a support group is about. That's what having the right information, getting it in your head, and understanding the why we're doing this. It's not just to burn calories. There's so much more to it. I shared with the lady today that's diabetic. I said, building muscle helps you to burn that sugar up, that's in your body. And she's like, I didn't know that. I mean, yes, the more muscle you have, the more calories you're burning, the more of that sugar that's being pulled out of your liver, that glycogen that's being pulled out of your liver into your system so that you can have energy, all right? And that's one of the reasons you have fatigue, is your insulin resistance is keeping your cells from opening and getting the glucose into the cell that gives you energy, and that's why we have depression and fatigue and all of that, okay? Yes, Lynn, staying focused and choosing the right food, that is surely right. Okay, so you might be thinking, I've had a coach, I've had a trainer, I've done the keto, I've done, all of that. Well, here's the difference. Maybe you've had a partner that went with you to the gym, but here's the difference. You have to have a coach. You have to be connected to someone who not only is committed but understands why your worst days and your best days, excuse me, got an itchy nose, and how to go forward. But they're committed to you, so they have experience guiding people, okay? And I have a lot of experience guiding people because I'm a life coach as well. So that personalized guidance, that one-on-one guidance, well, that's me, and that's what I want to be for you. So I do want to share a little bit of teaching with you. I just can't help it. I love to share this teaching. All right, so what you got here, you might be wondering, what is that? Okay, so we're going to pretend that this is the amount of blood that is in your body, okay? And if I were to prick my finger, which I have a glucose monitor right over there, but if I were to prick my finger, it would, for it to be 90, which is a good blood sugar to have, especially in the morning. Mine's usually about 90, 91 in the morning. Do you know how much blood I would need how much sugar I would have in my body for it to be 90? Well, about 1 teaspoon. The average person is eating anywhere from 13 to 15 to 19 teaspoons a day. Okay, so here's the question you should be asking. Well, what's happening to all that other sugar? Well, here's what's happening. Your body is taking it and storing it as fat. That's why every day you're gaining fat on your body if you're not losing it. So it's one or the other. You're gaining or losing. Rarely are you staying the same. And so just think about this. A bear, when they're getting ready to hibernate, they eat a lot of berries and fruit because they're going to sleep all winter. And they put on a lot of weight. If you see them going into their hibernation, they're very obese. All right, they got a lot of fat on their body. Or my husband loves to watch them on his iPad eating those salmon up in Alaska or wherever they are. They're just eating salmon all day long. A lot of fat, a lot of good protein. And then they sleep all winter. But when they come out, they're skinny. And do you know why? Because they ate what was stored. But here's what we're doing in America and all over the world, literally. We're adding more fat to our bodies. Now you went, why would your body do that? Well, it's the way God created us, okay? It's an amazing thing that we take in food, our body synthesizes it and assimilates it and does all kind of things with it, and then it either uses it for fuel or it stores it. So when you've eaten more, and it's usually in carbs, it's not necessarily protein and fat, but it's usually when you've eaten more carbs, which is about 20 to 30 a day, if you eat more than your body needs, then it's going to take that extra and it's going to store it as fat in case you don't get any tomorrow, all right? But here's what happens. Think about this. If Amazon showed up at my door let me put this over here so I can turn this a little bit. Every day, all right, if Amazon showed up every day at my door with a case of toilet paper, we'd have a problem. I eventually would have to figure out where is this going because I don't use that much. And that's the way your body is. Every day that you eat more than your body needs, it's going to store it. Okay, you can't take laxatives. You can burn off some of the calories with some exercise. And that's why I said when you have muscle on your body, you actually use more calories, okay? But day by day by day, your body is and it adds it around your organs first. So if you were to do a cross section of your heart or your kidneys or your liver, you're going to have fatty liver. You're going to have fat around those organs. And even under your breast and chest, you'll notice when you start to lose weight, that's the first place it goes because the fat around your organs is going away. And then your body lays it down around the middle. That's how you know you're insulin resistant, is your body is starting to gain weight around the middle. And you can tell me all day long that your hemoglobin A1C is good, but that does not mean that you're not insulin resistant. If you have a layer of fat around the middle, your body is storing fat instead of being a fat burner. It will burn up some, but not very much. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share with you tonight. So it's a good visual for you to think about and think, okay, wow, I just ate that whatever, and it had 50 grams of carbs in it. And so that means I'm probably not going to use up those carbs today. I'm going to store. It's kind of like your bank account. If you know how much you get paid on Friday, then you can't go to Belk's every day, or there'll be a problem. And that's the same way I think about my food. I think about, okay, what is my food budget today? I'm going to eat this, 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 and this, and I'm going to burn that up pretty much. But if I eat more than that, like tomorrow night, that's what I'm doing over here. I'm actually, over here, I'm putting together a pumpkin delight, but it's sugar-free, or low sugar, let's just say that, for a gathering we're having tomorrow night. But I'm not going to eat very much, but I am going to indulge more than usual. But then the next few days, I'll cut back. So it's like budgeting, okay? And some of us are not very good at that. I'm much better than I used to be because I don't have any credit cards at Macy's or Belk's or any of those places anymore because they get me in trouble. Okay, so if you have any questions, I need to hear from you. So type the questions in the comments. If I don't have your email, I'm going to send this video out in an email in the morning. So if I don't have your email, I need you to let me know, and I'll send you a link. So just put email in the comments, or information, info, I-N-F-O, and you'll get more information about the challenge and what's coming up. But I appreciate you joining me, and let me see if I can see if there are any. I'd love for you to tell me where you're watching from. I love to get on here. Had somebody from Australia last night, and I know it's a different time zone. I don't see any questions. Here's Wanda, there's Barb, there's Linda, Bonnie, Doris, Denise, Josie, Diane, Inez, Linda, there's Barb again, there's Gail, Doris, Lynn, hey Lynn, Donna, Susie, Colleen, hey Colleen, we had a good conversation the other day. I think that's all the people. For some reason, it keeps repeating the same folk. There's Beth. Hey, Beth. Good to see you. Okay, let me know where you're watching from. And not tomorrow night, but Thursday night at 8:30, I'll be on here. And if I get a lot of questions after I get home from the Bible study, we usually get home about 9, I may pop on here. There's Durham, North Carolina, Kentucky. Yep, I can see some of the comments coming up now. Joyce, hello there. Okay, so Belchertown, Massachusetts. Okay, good to see you. Denver, my daughter lived in Denver for a while. I love visiting her out there. Jacksonville, you're just down the road from me, Karen. Yeah, just put info. If you put information, if you'll come back and put info, that's the keyword that my automation is looking for to send you what you're looking for. So Calhoun, hey Karen from Calhoun, maybe not going to be from Calhoun too much longer, right? Or maybe you are. I think you're going to be there a little bit longer. Pittsburgh, let's see. This is the first time I've ever heard you. You're watching from Goshen, Indiana, maybe. It says Indians, but I think it probably meant. Well, thank you, Bonnie. Thank you for joining me. South Carolina, Chicago. We're just an eclectic world, aren't we? I love seeing all these people from here. I just had a lady on the phone from California, and so I'd love to get someone else from California. Hey, Linda. It's good to see you. Let me know how your day went today. Yep. Okay. So thank y'all, and I look forward to hearing. Let me just give you a little look. Okay, so what I'm doing over here, I'm making a pecan crust, and then you mix together cream cheese and pumpkin and I use monk fruit, some kind of sweetener, and you put that over that, and then you mix together eggs, and then you make a cream cheese part, and then it makes like a I call it a pumpkin delight, and we love it. So I usually do it for Thanksgiving, but I'm doing it for our Bible study tomorrow night. Okay, okay, there you go. All right, thank y'all for joining me. I'm going to hop off now because I got a lot to do. I got to be at the ear doctor in the morning. When I was a child, I had infections in my ear, so I lost my hearing in one ear. So I go regularly to get my left ear checked because it's my one good ear. But let me just tell you, I'm thankful that that one good ear works because I had infections in both ears. But back then, this was, 1961, 62. They didn't give antibiotics a lot. I mean, it wasn't back in the dark age. I'm not that old, but it was a while ago. And, they mostly put those warm drops, oil in your ear. And so I lost my hearing when I was about 30, I think, or maybe a little older. And so, but I'm going to see if I think there's some new information that's out there for nerve damage. So if it's something you know about, I'd love it you shared it with me. Okay, y'all have a good night. I feel like I just want to pray for you, okay? Yeah, so there's Teresa from Tennessee. So Father, in Jesus' name, I thank you for this night and every one of these women that are on here. They're all special. They're all created in your image, and you love them, and you have a purpose for them, and you have healing for them. So I just thank you that I'm able to share some good news with them. And I just pray that whoever is in this group that needs help, that needs a coach, if they'd reach out, and I'd love to help them. So thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. So it's good to see y'all. There's Jane. Let's see some new people. Karen. Thank y'all for watching, and share the video. Hit the love button before you leave. I think that gets it out to the world. But I'll see y'all Thursday night at 8:30. So have a great night. I'm going to give you a chance to hit that love button before you leave. I'm going to give you a chance to hit the like there you go. That's what I love to see. Okay. Y'all have a great night.